Yeah, okay, we're ready.
Phil,
Yes.
tell me what your wife's favourite tool is.
I will tell you, the Army Painter does not carry it.
My name is Phil Hall. I am the Glacial Geek. I run a YouTube channel called The Glacial Geek. The Glacial Geek is a miniature wargaming channel. It focuses on the hobby through gaming, through painting, through just talking about the lore, whatever it is. It's about finding the joy in the hobby.
Phil, what's your favourite tool in the range?
My favorite tool out of the line the Army Painter has is got to be the Speedpaints. There's actually just so much you can do with it that I really love about them. I use them a lot for what it's called speed painting, so getting armies done for battle reports, getting armies done for tournaments, getting armies done for games to have it on the tabletop looking rad in a quick time. So they get it done, and they get it done fast. And if I'm being honest, the Grim Black over white has given me the best looking dimensional armor, like on a futuristic space soldier that I've ever wanted, like that I've ever been able to achieve using regular acrylics. It's been driving me nuts, and it's like a 4-step process for me to even get close to what I get with one layer of the speed paint. Well, and just has really drastically changed how I can approach painting projects.
Right.
It allows me to quickly get armies painted up that I need for a tournament or for a game or something like that, to make a quick one-coat kind of finish to my army and look really cool and not look like I did them really quick. But they can also be used to kind of like pump up the volume and pump up the vibrancy because of their transparency. Just the versatility of the speed paint and what you can do with it, from actually using it as a one-coat process to using it to try to enhance your normal painting is why I would probably say they're my favorites. I also have been using it through an airbrush to allow my vehicles to match my speed paint infantry army, because a lot of times over like broad surfaces, speed paints can be hard to get like a consistent look to. So what I found is if I give my vehicles a very strong highlight with the airbrush and I get it up to almost like a white, I can then go through with a layer of the speed paint through the airbrush. It gives it the color shift, still get the dimension from the actual spray, the actual painting that I have underneath it, but it matches the color to the infantry that I just painted with the speed paints.
The painting method you just described is quite different to what is a traditional paint method. How did you come across it?
So honestly, it came from just naturally playing with the speed paints, because I think especially when they first came out, there was this period where people didn't really know how to work with them to get the kind of results that you really could. But it really took a shift in the way I approached the painting process. And that only came after like working with them and trying them and doing what I wanted to, so that when I got a result that I wasn't happy with, I found out why.
Yeah, it's a great point that you mentioned there, that there's a bit of practice. So did you practice on anything other than the miniatures themselves?
For me, no, because for me, I don't need every single one of my models that I paint to be perfect.
Right.
But it does mean that I might start with my line infantry troops when I'm trying something new. Because suddenly this one guy that's like not quite right can fade into a squad of 10 on the tabletop. And I can then, by the time I get to the sergeant, be a lot better at what I was doing because I've had the practice of the rest of the squad getting up to there. But when I'm doing stuff on the tabletop, you don't the uniformity that you get is more of a general uniformity. Like even if you look at actual armies out in reality, like they don't look exactly the same. Yeah, exactly. So if your army has some slight variations because you've either changed your process or you've changed whatever, you can still get a uniform look as long as you kind of get it close to each other. And that's what it is. It allows you to practice, learn, without having to just like not get more stuff done for the tabletop. You could learn during that process and still get it ready for the tabletop, as long as you set your expectations to what they should be.
So begin with the troops,
Yes.
learn your process,
Absolutely.
understand what you're doing,
Yeah.
and then you can save that. Once you're comfortable and confident,
Yeah.
you can then apply it to the heroes and everything else.
Yeah. By the time you get to your general, your HQ, that's going to be the last one you've done, and you've had a lot of practice figuring out that color scheme, figuring out that process, and then you can go, hog wild at that point.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and looks great.
You mentioned LeBron James, Lionel Messi, and Roger Federer. There's no Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth. You just
Because baseball sucks.
I like.